For decades, Sally Struthers carried a secret about Carroll O'Connor. A truth that only now, at 78, she is ready to share. It is not a story of scandal, nor of Hollywood gossip. It is the story of a man who became more than a co-star, more than a mentor, more than anyone she ever called family. Carroll O'Connor, the towering figure whose voice could command a room, and whose presence could silence it, was, in many ways, the father Sally never had. She remembers the first days on the set of All in the Family, stepping into a world that was bigger, louder, and more intimidating than anything she had ever known. And there he was, patiently guiding her, challenging her, teaching her not just to act but to feel, to inhabit Gloria Stivic fully, to take her grief and her joy, and pour it into every scene. For the first time in her life, someone saw her completely, and believed in her. At 78, she finally dares to tell what it meant to grow up under the shadow of Archie Bunker, and the quiet light of Carroll O'Connor. Sally Struthers was born on July 28, 1947, in Portland, Oregon, into a home that often felt incomplete. Her father left when she was around 9 years old, leaving a gap that no toy, school friend, or performance could fill. Her mother, Margaret, worked tirelessly to keep the household together, but the absence of a father's guidance shaped Sally in ways that would follow her into adulthood. It was a void marked by longing and by a subtle, persistent questioning of her own worth, a feeling she carried silently even as she discovered the exhilaration of performing on stage and screen. By the time she graduated from Grant High School, Sally had already begun to sense that acting was more than a career, it was a lifeline. In Los Angeles, she pursued the craft with determination, landing minor roles on television and in film. Her role in 5 Easy Pieces in 1970 offered a glimpse of her talent, but it was still a fragile, uncertain beginning. Then came 1971, and with it, All in the Family. When Sally stepped onto the set for the first time, she encountered Carroll O'Connor, whose reputation preceded him. He was imposing, rigorous, and deeply committed to the craft of acting. Yet, beneath that exterior was a man who noticed the smallest details, who recognized potential where others might have overlooked it. From the earliest rehearsals, Carroll observed Sally's hesitation, her eagerness, and her instinctive sense of timing. He offered guidance, not in grand lectures, but in subtle, deliberate ways. A quiet correction here, a patient demonstration there. He encouraged her to explore emotions fully, to inhabit the character of Gloria Stivic as a real, breathing person, rather than a mere role. For Sally, this attention was transformative. It was the first time someone had treated her talent with both rigor and respect, combining high expectations with genuine care. In Carroll, she discovered the kind of guidance she had longed for in her own childhood, a steady hand that could help shape her gifts without diminishing them. Their bond extended beyond scripts and rehearsals. On breaks, Carroll shared stories of his own life, reflecting on challenges, small victories, and lessons learned through years of experience. Sally listened and absorbed, recognizing in him a reliability she had rarely encountered. She watched him navigate his own pressures with discipline, humor, and compassion, understanding that the man behind Archie Bunker was complex, patient, and quietly nurturing. These moments of mentorship created a safe space, a surrogate family dynamic that allowed her to grow both as an actress and as a young woman finding her place in a vast, unpredictable world. Sally's gratitude toward Carroll was never performative. She respected him for the subtle ways he protected the integrity of the show, the respect he demanded for his colleagues, and the example he set through his quiet resilience. His influence was not just professional. It shaped how she approached relationships, how she measured loyalty, and how she learned to believe in her own worth. In that bustling studio filled with laughter, argument, and the occasional frustration, Sally found something that had been missing for decades: the steadfast presence of someone who saw her, believed in her, and offered guidance with unwavering honesty. For the girl who had grown up without a father, Carroll O'Connor became the figure who would teach her how to navigate both the stage and the world beyond it. From the moment All in the Family began filming, the chemistry between Sally Struthers and Carroll O'Connor was undeniable. On screen, they portrayed Gloria and Archie, a daughter and father whose clashes and conversations mirrored the evolving tensions of American society in the 1970s. Off-screen, their dynamic held a quieter, more profound depth. Carroll's meticulous approach to acting and Sally's natural curiosity created a partnership built on respect, timing, and an unspoken understanding that each moment mattered. The rehearsals were rigorous, yet beneath the pressure, there was an energy that drew the cast and crew into a shared rhythm. Sally observed early on how Carroll approached each scene with precision. He studied scripts with a devotion that went beyond memorization, seeking to inhabit Archie fully while also lifting those around him to their best performance. For Sally, this was instructive and inspiring. Every glance, pause, and tone he used on camera became a lesson in subtlety and emotional truth. She learned that the pauses in dialogue were as vital as the lines themselves, and that presence was as important as words. In Carroll, Sally found a mentor who could guide without overshadowing, whose attention to craft encouraged her to take risks and explore vulnerability in ways she had not before. Their connection extended into the private moments between takes. Carroll often checked in with Sally, offering advice on approach and perspective, helping her navigate the complex balance of humor and sincerity that defined Gloria. He valued authenticity over performance, emphasizing that the character's reactions had to feel lived in, grounded in genuine emotion. This approach shaped Sally's understanding of acting as a reflection of life, teaching her that the strongest performances came from embracing both joy and discomfort. She witnessed firsthand how Carroll could embody a man both gruff and tender, how a commanding presence could coexist with compassion, and how an actor's influence could ripple quietly through an entire set. The world outside the studio often misunderstood the depth of their bond, focusing on Archie and Gloria's arguments rather than the collaboration and trust behind them. The laughter, occasional tension, and relentless rehearsal schedules formed a rhythm that reinforced mutual respect. Carroll recognized Sally's instinctive talent and encouraged her to stretch it, guiding her through moments of self-doubt with patience. It was in these moments that the mentorship took on a familial quality. She felt seen, valued, and understood in ways that transcended professional boundaries. Even as the show addressed controversial topics, politics, gender roles, and social change, their off-screen relationship provided stability. Sally could test emotional beats and explore Gloria's reactions, knowing Carroll's guidance was steady and unwavering. This environment of trust and support allowed both actors to bring authenticity to scenes that might otherwise have felt staged or forced. The lessons Sally absorbed during those years became foundational, shaping her craft and her understanding of human interaction, teaching her to listen, respond, and inhabit the emotions of others fully. The magic of Archie and Gloria was as much about the characters as it was about the actors behind them. Carroll O'Connor's mentorship created a space where Sally Struthers could thrive, where a young woman who had grown up without a father could learn resilience, empathy, and confidence. Their work together was not only groundbreaking in television history, but deeply formative in Sally's life, providing a model of patience, professionalism, and quiet, enduring care that she would carry with her long after the cameras stopped rolling. As All in the Family rose to unprecedented popularity in the early 1970s, Sally Struthers found herself navigating a world that was both exhilarating and overwhelming. Fame arrived suddenly, a spotlight that illuminated her talent while exposing vulnerabilities she had carried since childhood. The excitement of recognition came hand in hand with scrutiny. Interviews, public appearances, and relentless schedules left little space for privacy. The pressures of television stardom tested her endurance, creativity, and emotional resilience. Carroll O'Connor, too, felt the weight of visibility. By then he was already established as a commanding presence on television, known for both his intense commitment to acting and the moral authority of Archie Bunker. He understood the burdens fame could impose on younger actors. On set, Carroll continued his role as mentor, offering guidance to Sally and others, but the growing intensity of public attention created its own tensions. Media speculation about cast dynamics, rumors of disagreements, and the weight of audience expectations sometimes cast a shadow over the close relationships formed in private. Despite these pressures, the bond between Carroll and Sally endured, though it was tested by distance, misunderstandings, and the challenges of professional life. Conflicting schedules and personal obligations occasionally pulled them in separate directions. Rehearsals, guest appearances, and the demands of production meant that moments of connection had to be intentional and carefully preserved. Yet even amid the strains, Carroll's mentorship remained steady. He continued to offer insights, correcting subtly, modeling patience, and providing a quiet example of discipline and care. For Sally, these gestures reinforced the trust and respect that had grown between them from the very beginning. Fame also highlighted the contrast between public perception and private reality. Archie Bunker's character, outspoken and often abrasive, sometimes overshadowed the actor behind the role. Viewers rarely saw the moments of tenderness Carroll offered to his colleagues or the care he extended to Sally's early career development. The intensity of the work, combined with the scrutiny of millions, demanded emotional fortitude. Sally often reflected on how carefully Carroll balanced his professional presence with genuine human connection, a skill she quietly absorbed and later carried into her own career. As the series progressed, Sally experienced the duality of celebrity, exhilaration and exhaustion, recognition and isolation. The distance that occasionally grew between her and Carroll was never permanent. It was shaped by circumstance, not sentiment. They continued to rely on each other as colleagues and confidants, navigating the challenges of television together while maintaining the personal respect that had always underpinned their relationship. These experiences deepened Sally's understanding of the complexities of fame and the quiet resilience required to sustain meaningful connections in the public eye. By the end of the decade, Sally had not only matured as an actress, but also developed a profound appreciation for the mentorship she had received. Carroll's guidance through the pressures of fame, the strain of conflict, and the occasional distance left an indelible mark. The lessons extended beyond acting into life itself: how to balance ambition with empathy, visibility with integrity, and professional responsibility with human connection. In the midst of one of television's most culturally significant shows, their partnership remained a testament to trust, loyalty, and the quiet power of mentorship that persisted even under the brightest spotlight. Behind the commanding presence of Archie Bunker, Carroll O'Connor carried burdens that few in the public eye ever saw. As an actor, he could deliver humor, anger, or authority with precision, yet off-camera, the weight of personal grief and family struggles shaped him quietly and profoundly. One of the deepest sorrows in his life was the loss of his son, Hugh O'Connor, in 1995. Hugh, an actor in his own right, battled addiction, and his death by suicide left a profound mark on Carroll, a wound that was private yet transformative. Sally Struthers, who had long admired Carroll's discipline and guidance, later reflected on how that pain revealed a different side of the man she had known, one capable of both immense resilience and tender vulnerability. Even during the height of All in the Family, Carroll's personal challenges were present in subtle ways. While he maintained a strong, disciplined demeanor on set, colleagues occasionally glimpsed moments of quiet reflection or withdrawal, reminders that the man behind Archie was human, shaped by experiences beyond the cameras and applause. Sally observed this closely. She saw that his intensity was not solely a performance choice but often a shield for a deeply empathetic heart, a heart shaped by love, loss, and responsibility. Carroll's grief and private struggles did not define him publicly, yet they informed the depth of his performances. He brought authenticity to Archie because he understood anger, frustration, and sorrow in life. and he channeled those experiences into his craft with remarkable precision. Sally witnessed how he could convey a single glance, a pause, or a subtle sigh, capturing complexities that resonated with audiences. She realized that behind the laughter and dramatic tension of the show, Carroll's empathy and personal understanding of hardship were quietly guiding the tone, lending humanity to every scene he shared with her and the cast. Outside of work, Carroll maintained close relationships with those he trusted, including Sally. Their private interactions often revealed a gentler side, one that was patient, protective, and attentive. In moments of conversation, he shared insights about navigating life's difficulties, teaching lessons through lived experience rather than lectures. Sally absorbed these moments with gratitude, understanding that mentorship encompassed more than acting techniques. It included lessons in resilience, emotional awareness, and integrity. The contrast between his public persona and private self created a complexity that made him a lasting influence, not just as an actor, but as a human being capable of profound care. Even in the years following All in the Family, Carroll continued to carry these layers of emotion with quiet dignity. The loss of Hugh and other private trials never became tabloid fodder or public spectacle. Instead, they were lived with honesty and reflection. Sally recognized that his strength lay in balancing vulnerability with composure, and she carried this example with her into her own life and work. The man who had been a father figure, a mentor, and a friend was also a man who had known loss intimately, and it was this combination that shaped his enduring presence both on screen and in the hearts of those who knew him. Through it all, Sally came to understand that Carroll's hidden pain did not weaken him. It deepened him. It informed his empathy, his attention to craft, and the way he touched the lives of colleagues and audiences alike. In every quiet conversation, every guiding glance, and every performance, the layers of his humanity were evident, leaving an indelible mark on those who shared his journey. For Sally, seeing this side of Carroll was a reminder that even the strongest figures carry struggles unseen, and that compassion and understanding are forged not in ease, but in the face of life's most difficult moments. In the final years of Carroll O'Connor's life, the bond he shared with Sally Struthers remained quietly steadfast. Their connection, forged over decades of collaboration, mentorship, and mutual respect, had taken on a profound intimacy akin to family. For Sally, he had become the father figure she had longed for in childhood, someone who combined guidance, patience, and an unspoken understanding of her fears and strengths. As she reflected on those years, she realized that the time spent together extended far beyond scripts and stage directions. It was a relationship built on trust, care, and shared humanity. Sally often visited Carroll privately, long after the cameras had stopped rolling, seeking moments of conversation and reflection. These meetings were not for publicity or performance. They were personal, quiet, and sincere. She recalls walking into his home and finding him engaged in the everyday rhythms of life, reading scripts, making notes, or simply sitting in thought. In those moments, she observed the man behind the public persona, the intensity and charisma of Archie Bunker, softened by compassion, humor, and introspection. These glimpses revealed how deeply he valued connection, not just with her, but with the people around him. Letters and notes passed between them over the years carried the same weight of intimacy. Carroll would offer encouragement, sometimes reflecting on past challenges, other times noting small victories in her work or personal life. Sally treasured these gestures, recognizing that the guidance she had received as a young actress had evolved into a profound, enduring friendship. She learned that goodbyes were not always tied to finality. They could be lived gradually, in conversations, shared stories, and the quiet acknowledgement of one another's presence. When Carroll passed in 2001, the loss was tangible. Sally felt it not as a distant celebrity death, but as the departure of a father, mentor, and confidant who had shaped her life in ways words could scarcely capture. The grief she carried was layered with gratitude, for in his life and guidance she had discovered lessons that extended far beyond the entertainment world. she had learned patience, empathy, resilience, and the quiet power of seeing another person fully and allowing them to see you in return. Even in mourning, Sally's reflections retained warmth. She spoke of Carroll not with sorrow alone, but with deep appreciation for the trust, honesty, and care that defined their relationship. The laughter they shared, the corrections he offered, and the moments of silent understanding remained vivid in her memory. She carried these experiences into her own life, applying the lessons of his mentorship to her work, her family, and her perspective on human connection. A daughter's goodbye in this case was not a single moment but a culmination of decades of shared history. Sally realized that Carroll had given her more than guidance. He had given her belief in herself, the courage to navigate uncertainty, and the reassurance that she was never truly alone. Their story, hidden behind the bright lights of television fame, became a testament to the quiet power of mentorship, love, and understanding. Even as the world remembered Archie Bunker, Sally remembered Carroll O'Connor, not just as a colleague or a legend, but as the man who had helped shape her life with steady hands, a generous heart, and unwavering attention to what truly mattered. At 78, Sally Struthers looks back on her life and career with clarity and gratitude, finally telling the truth about Carroll O'Connor. He was not just Archie Bunker, the character that entertained millions, but a man of depth, patience, and quiet compassion, who became the father she had longed for. Their bond, forged on the set of All in the Family and strengthened through decades of mentorship and friendship, shaped her both as an actress and as a human being. Through laughter, guidance, and even moments of private sorrow, Carroll taught Sally lessons that went far beyond acting. She learned the value of patience, empathy, resilience, and the courage to trust herself. In every scene they shared, in every conversation behind the cameras, he left an imprint that would endure long after the cameras stopped rolling. Sally's reflections remind us that behind public personas, behind iconic performances, lie real people carrying complexity, pain, and generosity. Her story of Archie and Gloria, mentorship and chosen family, is a testament to the transformative power of care, understanding, and quiet influence. For Sally, Carroll O'Connor was more than a colleague. He was a guiding presence, a steady hand, and a lasting light in her life. For more emotional stories, check out this video.